About 5 or 10 minutes ago, Julian, after it had been almost suspiciously quiet for a couple of hours, there was a sudden burst of intense gunfire. It lasted for about a minute. There were several explosions as well, possibly stun grenades. There was then pause, more gunfire, and now it's gone quiet again. I'm about, I'd say probably, we're a few hundred meters, I think, perhaps a little more from the building where the two gunmen from the Charlie Hebdo killings hold up. You may be able to hear in the background there another explosion. Certainly an operation is now ongoing here to extract them, it would appear. We have had no information from the police about what's happening. I think the police at this point simply don't know. They're blocking the road and making sure that the secure perimeter they've established in the last few hours remains secure. I think the police had always assumed that the two men would be unlikely to come out peacefully. We don't know exactly what's happened so far, but certainly, as I said, about 10 minutes ago, suddenly a minute of intense gunfire and explosions, which could be clearly heard across the town.
Chris, I'm not sure what your view is, but we're looking at a distant shot of the building where quite a lot of smoke is coming out of the roof, and most distinctly a dark figure, a figure in black, appears to be walking along on top of the roof at the moment. It's not, in fact, two figures now. I can see another figure, maybe three, who are now appearing to one side of the roof of the building with smoke swirling around them and seem to be walking across. Again, you may not be able to see that from where you are, but that's what we're seeing here.
No, I can see a little bit of smoke, Julian. I can't see the figures you describe. We know that there are two gunmen, so if you can see more than individuals there, I think it's a safe assumption to make that those may well be members of the security forces. We know from local officials here that there was a hostage inside the building. Let's remember it was a small printing company in a small industrial estate on the edge of this town just northeast of Paris. The two gunmen arrived here after a car chase, after they shot their way through a roadblock, having stolen a car earlier this morning, having been on the run for 2 days after their attack on the offices of Charlie Hebdo in the centre of Paris. The police were clearly pleased that they finally identified them. They brought them out into the open. They must have been disappointed that the gunmen had been able to get back to a place where they could put other people in danger. And their first priority now, probably, if they are moving in to try and end this operation, it would be the safety of the hostage they believe is inside.
I'm just looking at another view, and again, the view that our viewers are seeing at the same time. This is from one side of the building. It's slightly closer to it in terms of the actual detail of the view, which appears to show, it was a moment ago, two police figures, I'm assuming, now just one close to the wall of the building. The lights are now increasingly bright as well, because we're talking about dusk as well. And clearly in the minds of those who may be carrying out some sort of attempted conclusion to this is that this has been a number of hours, darkness is falling. At some point, there has to be a way of ending this.
Yes, and don't forget, the two gunmen have been on the run for over 48 hours now. Last night, we assume they probably slept out in the open somewhere in the woods about 20 miles northeast of here, where the police had been carrying out a widespread search yesterday around villages and in thick woodland there. They were pretty convinced that the gunmen hadn't escaped from that area, and that proved correct this morning when they emerged in a village just in that vicinity. We were just miles away when that happened.